Let's dive a little bit deeper what indeed is a content score and how it's calculated. So the content score factors are briefly described on the checklist. So if you're looking on the checklist, you will see that we as a neuron or as a company, we are looking on the similar factors like Google. So Google, first of all, Google try to understand your document, starting from the title, from the structure, like headers. Then they are trying to understand what you have in the specific paragraphs and so on and so on. How long is the content? It's not a ranking factor, but it's quite specific because you need a specific amount of text for a specific type of page to fulfill the user need. How easy is to read? It's more about the UX of the content, so it's like how the content is structured. For some content types, like for example subject, let's say university subject, the readability can be lower, which means that it will be harder to understand and to read because it's a university content. And in some cases the readability will be very high, which means would be very easy to read. And then, of course, is very easy content, like let's say for 5th graders or something like that. And we have here also one factor which is called keyword stuffing risk. This means that in some cases you can have too many terms, too many keywords in the content. And then to avoid the penalties, possible penalties, we will advise you to lower the amount of terms in article. Very important is to understand that all these elements here, the content score, the content score is calculated according to this what you have in the recommendations, so your recommendations, and this what you have written in the content editor. So this is the relation between the content in your editor and the content on the recommendation side. So you have two options: or you have revalidate the recommendations, and for example you can remove something which is not necessary. Like for example, this is the keyword that I don't like, so I can just say, okay, exclude from suggestions, and there will be no more points calculated according to this usage. So that will be quite easy for you first to go and just delete everything what is not really usable in your case, yes? So you can say, okay, it's not usable, I don't really need it. And then the second part is to improve the content itself. And improving the content has two options. The first option is to improve the title and the description. And we give you, I would say, a lot of points for title and description. And why this is so? Because we are understanding the way how Google tried to recommend the content to the end user. And of course, maybe they start with changing the descriptions because the descriptions were poor and not really descriptive at all. So they try to rewrite the descriptions so the descriptions will be just better and more effective in the search. And right now they are doing also the same with titles. So they are rewriting sometimes your title to be more adjusted with your audience query. So sometimes you have a different content and your content, let's say, talking about the, best shoes for the marathon 2022, and your title can be best shoes for running the marathon 2022, and that will be fine. But you can also have something like marathon shoes, which one or something, how to choose, whatever, and then Google can try to rewrite it. And this is why we also give you the examples of the usage, how it's used by your competitors. Yeah, so as you can see, most of this is like a best, the best, seven the best, and so on. So that are the recommendations which are typical to rank for number, let's say 1 or in top 10 in Google. So the meta description and the content, the title and the description are very important, and of course the content. And the content have two main factors for a content score, of course. So document structure, which means like exactly this what we have here, the H1, H2, and so on. So all the headers, all the paragraphs, and so on. And then the content as a terms in articles. Yes, so the terms in articles, I will just highlight them so you can see where are our terms. We have a terms in H1s, we have some terms in the content, and our content score right now it's just 10 on 100, so it's like, let's say, optimized 10% in general. Yes. I hope that's all, and we will go a little bit deeper according to the content score later when we will work on the content level, but I believe this is most important factors. Once again, the content score, its relation between the recommendations in the sidebar and content that you have in the content editor window and in the meta description and meta title window. That's are the main factors that could increase the content score. And in the checklist, you have overall score, which give you the information where you have the opportunities, like here 0, 0, 6, 9, and so on, where you have the opportunities to improve your content score, and indeed improving your content score, giving you the chance to improve the visibility of this content piece.